damn. Okay, Snafu. This series is a really intense series. It's so hard to kind of explain. I don't even know what it is. It's like when I'm watching this, it feels like it's kind of like not even watching an anime because it's like real. Like it's real. There it is. Like really realistic. Like for real. Snafu does an amazing job at pulling the viewer in. At least that's how I feel about it. It feels very realistic. That's the best way I can put it. For example, this was. You may have heard me if you watched my Yamada episode the other week, I think it was. I was complaining oh, look, here we have the beach episode, because we have, two common things you see a lot in anime, and that's, beach episodes and, amusement park episodes. And I was like, okay, so we get an amusement park episode for Snafu, but no, it wasn't your regular cliche amusement park, ordeal. They put, their own spin on it, where it was just amazing. It just seemed like a bunch of, friends hanging out at the freaking, amusement park. It wasn't, your cliche stuff. It was really freaking good. It was so hard to talk about because, for real, they do such an amazing job at this. It's just mind-blowing. But, I gotta say, it took me a second to realize that Destiny Land was a spoof on Disneyland. I don't know why. What did it for me was when they were in line for what I'm assuming was Space Mountain, because I went to Disneyland one time before when I was a little kid, so I was like, damn, that looks like Space Mountain. And then as the show kept progressing, I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is Disneyland. How the hell am I just now figuring this out? But anyway, so I'm just gonna start from the beginning. So, we have the aftermath of Hachiman, where after his reaction last week to everybody, where he cried and all that, and sure enough, he's rolling around on the floor I'm so embarrassing, how could I let that happen? And then his sister walks in, and he's just like, I'm having an identity crisis right here. And I was like, yeah, he's having an identity crisis. And then she's just still nagging him about that. She's just not letting him let it go. And she's like, you know what, you can't change or anything. It's too late for that. I was like, damn, his little sister is she's cold as ice. I've said it before about her, and I'll say it again. Man, I don't know if you're trying to help him or not, but yeah, damn, lay off of him a little bit. But, and that was another thing. There was a few words this episode I noticed when they say stuff, it just comes out hilariously. For example, that identity scene. She's like, identity! That just stood out to me. How could you not hear that? So I just got a chuckle out of that. Just some words these actors say, it's just kind of funny, I gotta say. But yeah, Yukino, she's a very, very complicated character. I just gotta flat out say that. It's the best way I can put it. She's got a lot of stuff going on. For example, we had a Yukino and Hachiman moment this week where they get alone on a ride, which I have to say, that was a really well-designed ride. I mean, this place looks really huge. The glacier one, was just man, how big is that damn ride? I just couldn't help but think that. But anyway, got off topic for a second there. But yeah, so she had a heart-to-heart with him, which maybe he inspired her after his outburst he just went through the other day, so maybe that's why she was able to talk to him. She tells him that the way she sees other people, they have things that she doesn't, and she feels like she's lacking these things. And she didn't actually say what it was, but he other side than calling that, maybe other people viewed him as garbage. And I was like, damn, that was a little harsh. Even he called her out on that. So yeah, Yukino, she's a complicated girl, I have to say. So, but it was still a nice little touching moment between those two. But sorry. Yui, best girl. That's my personal favorite. Yui is the best girl. I'm sorry. You can hate me for it. If you're a Yukino fan, I'm sorry. Yukino's alright. I'm not bashing on her. But Yui all the way. Which was kind of upsetting because I've heard from other people that from this point on, it's a lot of Yukino and little to no Yui. Yui's already had her time to shine and now it's Yukino's. And I'm like, oh. But, aside from that, well, Yui actually had some moments this episode, too. Such as when her and Hachiman were standing around in a gift shop trying to find a gift for his little sister. They had a nice little talk where it ended up where I took it as presuming that they were talking about going on a future date of sorts to the amusement park next door. So it was nice to see that she also had a little time to shine this episode. So, yeah, her and Yukino, they had their nice touching moments, but unfortunately, the same couldn't be said for a certain third girl, the one that really hit hard to see, and that was Ashika. I have to say, she's really come up in my, like, favorites for this series, and it was really sad to see what happened, and she, she's really had a thing for Hayato, and they're like standing around watching like a fireworks show, and apparently she proclaims how she feels to him, and he shoots her down. And that was really hard to see. Like I figured it was coming, and yeah, when she turned around and started running, I was like, oh, that sucks. What an ass. But I'm not mad at him. He did the right thing. Like it was better than just baiting her along. Stringing her along, that not saying yes or no, and he just no, he just flat out crushed all that for her. So it was a really hard thing to do, and it took some balls to do it, but I'm glad he was able to, because ultimately it was for the best. If you're not going to go out with her, then just give it to her straight, and not just keep leading her on. So oh well, I'm assuming now next week's episode is going to we're going to see the aftermath of that, and it's going to revolve her a lot next week. So we'll see how that plays out, but there's a couple other things maybe worth mentioning for this episode, but all in all, it was it. Just them all going to an amusement park, and then we saw a couple heart-to-hearts, and then we saw a heart broken. So, good episode. Snafu, like I said, this is a damn good series. It's still not in my top 10. It's really hard to squeeze anything in my top 10 at this point for animes. But it's fighting its way up there. It's just, because it's so damn unique. I swear to God, it's so realistic. It's just crazy. So I love this series. I can't wait to see next week's episode. It was really touching, and I do have to say I'm a little confused by Hachiman. In my personal opinion, he doesn't, even after last week's outburst with him, he doesn't seem that very different. He's still kind of reading between the lines a bit. I don't know. It's just when Yui had that little puppet, and he was just embarrassing and all this other stuff, and he's what the hell? So he's just naming out all these little things one at a time. Like that one time where he saw that one girl, what is her name, She-Rose or whatever, where she fell down, and he was panties, pink, unexpected, which was hilarious all on its own, but that was a long time ago, so I'm not going to discuss that. But all in all, good episode this week. I loved it. Can't wait for next week's. But what did you guys think? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you feel for Ishika? So yeah, leave your thoughts down below in the comments. I'd like to hear what you guys thought. If you thought my review was nice, leave the video a thumbs up. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you'd like to subscribe, that'd be amazing as well. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.